Those who finished with tea and refreshments to please move into the hall and take your seats. We're about to begin. Please move into the hall. We're ready to start.
Updating profiles and applying.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of HT Media, I welcome you all and Shine to the 21st Hindustan Times Shine HR Conclave, the Gurgaon chapter, that will discuss harnessing the millennium workforce. It is estimated that by 2030, the millennials will comprise 75% of the total workforce worldwide. Without a doubt, organizations need to gear up to not only take on, but to fully harness this powerhouse generation. According to a recent report from Deloitte, what sets this generation apart is their optimistic spirit in the midst of economic turmoil. However, Gen Yers are also highly restless, having grown up in an era of rapid change and instant gratification. This places the challenge on organizations to shift the way they attract, engage, and develop this talented but volatile workforce. But are businesses truly prepared for the rise of the millennials in the workplace? Is HR ready to relook, to relearn, and to revise its strategies and get in sync with the requirements of this workforce? The millennium workforce is future-oriented, opportunity-driven, and poised to make its mark on the world. The ball is now in the employer's court as Gen Y enters the workforce in increasing numbers. The expectation and motivation tools of this workforce are clearly different, and the HR needs to remold itself to fit in with the demands of this workforce. To take up this discussion on some of incisive questions like these that I raised, the 21st Hindustan Times Shine HR Conclave, the Gurgaon chapter, will see senior HR leaders debate the topic, harnessing the millennium workforce. But before I invite our panelists and keynote speaker to take their place up on stage, we have with us Mr. VP Rajesh, who leads the governing body of the Institute of Management Education and looks after effective running of various courses like the PGDM, the MBA, MCA, MCOM, and various other undergraduate courses since the inception of the Institute. He also organizes numerous international business conferences and seminars regularly each year at the Institute, and I'd like to now invite him to make the opening remarks. Mr. VP Rajesh from the Institute of Management Education.
A very good evening to Honorable Mr. Khera, esteemed panel members, distinguished CEOs and HR professionals, and my dear friends. This conclave has been organized with an objective to identify the challenges and opportunities that millennials present for the HR professionals. I have an older son who is at the cusp of Generation Y. So I'm very interested to see what people have to talk about in this panel today, and maybe there will be some lessons for us that I can apply with my older son at home. But at IME, what we are trying to do is understand this generation a little bit better, create the right environment for learning, and most importantly, understand what the corporate world is looking at when they are talking to this generation and how we can retool and reconfigure our programs to address this particular generation. I will take 2 more minutes to just brief you very quickly about Institute of Management Education. With very humble beginnings 18 years ago, the Institute today has over 3,500 students, primarily in management, IT, and law programs. And our continuous effort is to engage with the industry and the academia internationally as well as nationally. So therefore, there is a continuous stream of conferences, both international as well as national, where delegates from abroad are here to share their viewpoints and understand how the world is shaping up and what corporate world is looking like in the decades to come. We are very proud to note that we have 100% placement, and that's by virtue of engaging with some of the leading corporates like HCL, Bajaj, Barista, Tata, Moser Bear, et cetera, et cetera. So with that, I personally want to welcome you all to this summit and look forward to the proceeding with eager ears and eyes. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Rajesh. Well, ladies and gentlemen, before I tell you more about our keynote speaker, I'd like to also invite you to join us on Twitter and tweet using the hashtag ShineHRConclave. We'll also take questions on Twitter, so please drop them with the hashtag that I just mentioned, ShineHRConclave. So, ladies and gentlemen, we have with us author, educator, business consultant, successful entrepreneur, and much sought-after speaker, Mr. Shiv Khera, the founder of Qualified Learning Systems USA. He inspires and encourages people through his 3-decade-long research, understanding, and experience to help them on a path of personal growth and fulfillment, making them realize their true potential. Some of his books are outside on display, and I'm sure you'll find time to go and get yourself a copy. He's authored more than 16 books, including the international bestseller, You Can Win, which has sold over 2.8 million copies in 16 languages. His other books are also creating new records. He organizes workshops internationally and has appeared on radio and television. Millions have heard him as a keynote speaker. Mr. Khera will speak for an hour, and then we will take questions and interact with the audience. I'm sure that you remember his tagline, winners don't do different things, they do things differently. So here he is, the man himself, Mr. Shiv Khera.
Well, I'm grateful to you indeed. Thank you very much for the kind words indeed. Good evening, folks. All right, all right. Mr. Rajesh, where is he? Oh, there you are. Thank you, sir. Folks, all of you are here because you want to be here, not because you have to be here. Am I right, folks? Okay. One time, Mama called Johnny, said, son, get up, you got to go to school. Johnny said, I don't want to. Mama said, you got to. Johnny said, I don't want to. Mama said, you got to. Johnny said, Mama, give me one, boy, you heard that one. Give me one good reason why I should go to school. Mama said, son, I'll give you 2. 1, you are 40 years old. And 2, you are the principal of the school. Folks, you gotta go. Well, folks, really when we talk of the power of the millennium, I just want to bring in a couple of things here. One, I just came across an article 6 months ago in Singapore which said globally 50% of businesses fail within the first 5 years. And in the US, folks, 90% of businesses fail within the first 5 years. That's alarming, isn't it? And with the speed of change, the way things are happening today, products are getting obsolete the day they are getting launched. Happens? Yes, no. Hello? Yeah. Products are getting obsolete the day they're getting launched. And if they have great shelf life, you're talking 6 to 12 months. And Mr. Rajesh, as he rightly said, folks, knowledge is getting obsolete within 2 to 3 years. Now that means, sir, every class that graduates today, it is supposed to be a little more knowledgeable than the previous one. Now that is the positive side, but the flip side is within 2 to 3 years, their knowledge will become obsolete. Then what would they do? That's the big question. Folks, there was a leadership conference in the US which said today's generation is very comfortable with the computers. People can surf for hours and hours and hours. Now that's the positive side, but the flip side is they're so comfortable with the computers that they have actually become uncomfortable with people. Are you with me, folks? They become uncomfortable with people. Now, folks, looking at this scenario, literally, it has become a cliche that the only constant is change. You keep hearing the only constant is change, the only constant is change. Now, we heard that enough times. Now, what do we do? That's the big question. Folks, looking at that, it prompted me to write an article which I've just finished, and I'm sending it to New York Times and a few other publications for publication. I wrote in, if the only constant is change, then is there anything in this world beyond change that is constant? Folks, I got answers which said, folks, going into the future, the only people who will succeed in life are people who master 3 skills that are constant. Folks, they haven't changed in 500 years. They won't change in the next 500 years either. Now here, what I just finished the article. I said, people who will succeed in life are people who have 3 skills. 1, they have people skills. 2, they have persuasion skills. 3, they have prioritizing skills. I repeat one more time. People who have people skills. 2, they have persuasion skills. 3, they have prioritizing skills. Folks, my research shows they haven't changed in 500 years. Folks, we don't have business problems all over the world. We have people problems, and when we take care of our people problems, most of our business problems are automatically resolved. 1, 2, we are hired for our skills, but we are fired for our behavior anywhere in the world and everywhere in the world. Yes, no, folks? Can I have a big yes? Of course. We are hired for our skills, but we are fired for our behavior. And 3, folks, the lower a person is in life, 90% of the time goes in technical skills, less than 10% in people skills, and higher you go up in life, it just, what happens? Reverses. people skills. And technology and technicians you can always buy with money. Can I request you to kindly switch off your mobile, please? Folks, let me ask you, if I keep my mobile on right now, and if it keeps flashing on my face every 10 minutes or ringing, would it be courteous to you people, folks? Hello? Can we practice both courtesy, both sides, please? Could you kindly switch off? Folks, technology and technicians you can always buy with money. But the wealthiest person in the world must build and create relationships. Yes, no? Absolutely. Folks, we took on a Swiss company as our client. I'll wait. Oh, you're taking this down. Great. Absolutely. Apologize, ma'am. Carry on. Go ahead. Folks, we took on a Swiss company as our client. And their CEO called me and said, Shiv, I want you to do some sales training for my people. I said, Mr. CEO, what training I have to do is my decision. You tell me what end result you're looking for. I'll see if I can deliver. If I can't, go get another consultant. You tell me what end result you're looking for. He said, I want my sales going up. I said, give me a week. Let me see what we have to do with these people first. Folks, we checked out on these salespeople. And here's what we found. Many of these salespeople, in fact, most of them, they had appointments with their clients. And invariably, they were running late for their appointment. And most of them did not even have the courtesy to call and say, I'm sorry, I'm running late. And time to call is when? Before you got late or after you got late? Hello? And they walk in late. They don't even have the courtesy to say, I'm sorry, I apologize, I kept you waiting. And I said, and if they do call, guess what do they say on the phone? I'm stuck in traffic. I'm stuck in traffic. Now, don't get me wrong. Traffic has become a challenge globally. That is true. That is true. No doubt about that. But many times, they leave just 5 minutes before the appointment. And they blame it on traffic. And folks, we've learned one thing in life. Only the first lie is difficult. Are you with me? The second becomes easier, third becomes easier, fourth becomes easier, and the fifth becomes easier. And very soon, you are dealing with a rascal who is a liar. Are you with me, folks? You want to teach them sales training? Do we need an MBA to understand this? Do we need a PhD to understand this? You know the sad part, after doing MBA, PhD, they still don't understand this. That is the sad part. And folks, experience shows very clearly people who lie also steal. A study came which said 40% of thefts and pilferages in most organizations are done by their own employees. 40% of thefts and pilferages in most organizations are done by their own employees. By just getting one item into the organization called integrity, you could possibly, potentially, jack up your profitability by 40%. Now, an accountant might not agree with that. They might come up with different numbers. And, folks, a survey was done, I believe I could stand corrected, I think it was Gallup, which said 63% of people that go to work are disengaged. You are HR professionals, you know what a disengaged means. 63% people that go to work are disengaged. An additional 24% are actively disengaged. Folks, are you with me? That leaves only 13% of people that go to work actually work. Are you with me? Rest who go to work, they don't work. Now, 63% go to work, are disengaged, means they make sure they don't do their job. And 24% additionally are actively disengaged, means they also make, not only they don't do their own job, but they make sure others also don't do their job. Only 13% of people are actively engaged. What does it tell you? Aren't they all people issues? They are all people issues. Folks, IT has increased the speed of communication tremendously, no doubt. But unless people know how to and what to communicate, they would only miscommunicate a lot faster, won't they? And you know the cost of miscommunication faster? It is horrendous. And most people we find are not able to communicate, not because they lack knowledge, but because they lack confidence. Folks, are you with me? What are these? These are all people issues. And let me share with you one more. And that is self-esteem. Folks, we address in our program, 3-day leadership programs, self-esteem. Somebody tell me, what is self-esteem? You can win or you can sell. ले आइएगा जल्दी से, 2 किताब जल्दी से और भी ले आइए वहाँ से. ये दे दीजिए, सुनिए, ये यहाँ रखिए. What is self-esteem? Somebody, raise your hand, please. What is self-esteem? Yes, please. Yes, ma'am. Okay, self-perception is your self-image. What is self-esteem? It is a component. You're right. What is self-esteem? Something else, somebody else. Kindly, sir. Self-respect is a component of self-esteem. What is self-esteem, folks? Somebody else, raise your hand, please. Sir. What others feel about us? Well, somewhat. I would put a question mark there. Yes, ma'am. What is self-esteem? What is self-esteem? I'm sorry? How much one is in love with oneself. Well, that might lead to self-esteem. But what is self-esteem? Somebody else, raise your hand. Yes, ma'am. Self-pride is a component also. Good one, very important one. What is self-esteem? Sir, in the corner here. Yes, sir. Go ahead. What is self-esteem, sir?
Evaluation of self-worth.
Well, self-worth is a component. It's a very important component. Sir, what is self-esteem? What is... Gentlemen.
The level of motivation one has for himself.
Well, that is a consequence of self-esteem. Somebody else... What is self-esteem, sir? Desire of rising. Well, that is a consequence again. Sir, what is self-esteem? Okay. Well, it's the other way around. Go ahead, sir. What is self-esteem, sir? Ego. In fact, sir, it's the reverse is true. Go ahead, sir. What is self-esteem?
Basically, self-esteem is something that you believe in about yourself and the confidence level that you believe in it.
Well, that's a consequence. That's a consequence. Okay, he said he's here. Yes, sir. What is self-esteem, sir? Strength of goodness is a component. It'll lead you to self-esteem. You want to come back again? Okay, what is self-esteem, sir? Well, he's... Hey, folks, he's given the right word now. He said self-esteem is the way we feel about ourselves. Folks, self-worth, self-pride, self-evaluation, self-confidence, self-respect, they're all components. You notice all this put together gives a person a feeling. All put together gives a person a feeling, and that feeling is called self-esteem. Folks, have you noticed one thing? I got to give him a prize for that one. I'm going to give him my book, You Can Win. Give him a big hand, please. Folks, have you noticed one thing? One day when we get up in the morning feeling good, the world looks nice, productivity goes up, and relationships are a lot better, aren't they? And the reverse is just as true. And self-esteem is inversely related to egos. It is totally inversely related to egos. Folks, have you seen people in this world with egos like I know it all? What do? They talk down to people, don't they? They put down others, don't they? And every decision they make is more to satisfy ego than make sense. Folks, think about it. Why does a human being put down another human being? It is sadistic but true. There are some people in this world who feel good when the other person feels bad. See, they feel superior when the other person feels inferior, which means they don't want to lift themselves up, but they want to pull others. Happens? Yes, no. That's right. And there's a second kind of ego, folks, which is called fragile ego. Anything you say, I take it personally and I get hurt. Anything you say, I take it personally and I get hurt. And folks, we talk of team spirit. What do both these egos do to team spirit? They just destroy it. And then, folks, people skills, we get into interpersonal issues. Why do people deal with us? Not because we are the smartest people. They deal with us because they are comfortable dealing with us. And what gives them the level of comfort? Folks, people don't care how much you know. They want to know how much you care. Folks, look at this. Why do you go to a doctor 10 miles away, bypassing 10 other doctors on the way. Is he the most qualified? Probably not. But something says, I am dealing with the right person. Why do you get your car repaired from a mechanic 10 miles away, bypassing 10 of the mechanics on the way? Is he the most qualified? Probably not. But something says, I am dealing with the right person. And what is that something? Trust. Folks, you ask people, what is the greatest thing in the world? TV evangelists tell you, love is the greatest thing in the world. But the way I see it, trust in many ways is a much greater compliment in life than love. There are people we love, but we cannot trust. And folks, you notice one thing. Whenever and wherever you have a trust deficit, watch, guess what happens? Cost of doing business goes up and speed of doing business goes down. Anywhere, everywhere. Whenever there's a trust deficit, cost of doing business goes up, speed of doing business goes down. Folks, how many of you remember when we had to catch a flight before 9/11? How long before the departure time did we reach the airport before 9/11 when we had to catch the flight? How long before? How long? Just about half hour. But today when we have to catch a flight, we got to be there at least 2 hours to 3 hours before departure time. You know why? No trust. And they have to check you everywhere. And trillions, not billions, trillions have gone into security, trillions. What is the result? Cost of doing business went up and speed of doing business came down. Folks, have you noticed one thing? When you go to a doctor, you notice within the first 15-20 seconds, when you see the doctor, the demeanor of the doctor, the behavior of the doctor either makes you feel comfortable or uncomfortable. Within 15 seconds, even before they open their mouth, at that time, you never think to ask what grades he got in school. What grades he got in college, you don't care. It is people skills. And people skills come in, folks, in goal setting. When we address goal setting issues, we take from the holistic approach perspective, which means people take family problems to work and work problems to the. We are totally connected, aren't we? And folks, many times you heard people saying, I'm a split personality. What do you mean split personality? Folks, we find behaviors don't change. People who are honest at home are also honest at work. People who are dishonest at home are also dishonest at work. Are you with me, folks? Behaviors don't change. And it comes back to people issues. Leadership is a people issue. I'm writing my next book. Folks, I find there is no such thing known as a neutral leader. Either they are good leaders or they are bad leaders. And folks, good leaders actively guide, bad leaders actively misguide. And good leaders look to create more leaders. Bad leaders look to create followers. You know why? They are so insecure. Are you with me? They are so insecure. What are they? People issues. Folks, go check out with your parents and grandparents and great-grandparents. These issues have not changed in 500 years. They will not change going forward in 500 years. And I stuck, the more I think about it, and I said, man, the only constant is these three things, folks. They haven't changed. So long as they are human beings on this planet, people issues are identical all over the world. They have not changed anywhere. And people who will succeed are people who have people skills. And then we get into areas on, what was the second one I said? One, people skills. Second, persuasion skills. What is persuasion skills? Folks, persuasion skill means ability to influence, ability to convince, ability to negotiate, and ability to sell. Are you with me? I repeat. Ability to influence, ability to convince, ability to negotiate, and ability to sell. Folks, haven't changed, will not change. And there are many people who say, I don't sell. Folks, let me ask you, persuasion skills. A candidate at a job interview, what's he doing? Persuading a potential employer, yes, no. A boy, girl proposing to get married, what are they doing? Persuading each other to get married. Are you with me? A politician giving speeches to get votes, what's he doing? Persuading. What am I doing right now? Also persuading. Folks, we are all persuading. We are always persuading, either for or against ourselves. And success in life depends on our ability to persuade. Hasn't changed in 500 years. Will not change in 500 years. So long as you have humans on the planet, emotions, persuasive emotions don't change. Appeal to emotions don't change. When I wrote my book, You Can Sell, the subtitle to the book is, in life, results are rewarded, efforts are not rewarded. Are you with me? In life, results are rewarded, efforts aren't. What does it mean? It means we judge ourselves by our intentions, but the world judges us by our actions. Yes, no. Can I have a big yes? Okay, look at this. We judge ourselves by our intentions, but the world judges us by our actions. Persuasion skills, selling skills. Folks, one of the highest paid profession in the world is the profession of a commission salesperson. Highest paid profession. And folks, studies show that about 60% of engineering graduates end up in sales jobs. Are you with me? About 60% of engineering graduates end up in sales jobs. Now, you have an engineer who is selling. Means what? Either you have a great engineer and a great salesperson, or a lousy engineer and a lousy salesperson. And folks, by and large, the latter is true. People skills, persuasion skills. And I'm sure you are familiar, NASCOM did a study which said 90% of graduates coming out of schools today, postgraduates or whatever they are, they're not employable. 90% of them. Narayan Murthy put a question mark on the balance 10%, so do I. I put a big question mark on the balance 10%. And folks, and today the profile of people that are coming out postgraduate, guess what it is? They think they know everything, but do they understand anything? That's one. Number two, attitude is butchered. Values don't exist. And since they have a piece of paper called MBA, folks, nothing against MBA. I respect that. You see, since they have a piece of paper called MBA, their expectations are so high, they all want to start as CEOs. Are you with me? They all want to start as CEOs. No wonder you have so much attrition. Look at the attrition today. Isn't it huge? And when I wrote my book, You Can Sell, Persuasion Skills, the press was there and they asked me, in sales, you need to learn the tactics of selling. You need to learn the tactics of selling. How many agree with that? Raise your hand. Please raise your hand all the way. I said, absolutely not true. Folks, in sales, you need to learn the principles of selling, not tactics. Because principles are based on foundation of integrity. Tactics are manipulative. Get to the bottom line. And then they asked me, in sales, you need to learn the tricks of the trade. How many agree with that one? Raise your hand. Not true again. Folks, I mentioned professionals learn the trade. They leave the tricks to the cheats and crooks. Get professional or get out. Get professional or get out. So what is people skills? Now, given the part that I just shared, people skills are important. Folks, how many agree that people are our greatest assets? Please raise your hand all the way up. Not true at all. Folks, people are not assets. Only good people are assets. Rest are all liabilities, folks. Are you with me? Only good people are assets. Rest are all liabilities. Now, one was people skills, two was persuasion skills, and three was prioritizing skills. Folks, the amount of time-saving devices we have today, we have never had that many in history. And yet, we have no time. You know why? Because we lost our priorities. And folks, I am guilty. I am guilty. Many times I've lost my priority. Because we lost our priority, we forgot to distinguish between what we need and versus what we want. And we forgot to distinguish between what's urgent in life and what's important in life. Folks, urgent may or may not be important. And important may or may not be urgent. And folks, if you analyze a little bit deeper, you will find most things that are urgent, they're really not important. And most things that are important are really not urgent. But here is the caveat. Whenever we ignore what is important, it converts into urgent. For example, health is important. Exercising is important. Health is important. But if I have a crucial meeting tonight, and if I am not able to exercise tonight, it's not the end of the world. Why? Because it is not urgent. But if I ignore my health continuously for a long period, guess what will happen? I will end up in the hospital. It will convert into urgent. See, in life, relationships are important, but they are not urgent. But if I ignore relationship for a long time, guess what will happen? You will end up seeing the lawyer. Hello? Are you with me? That's right. It will convert into urgent. Folks, look at these. These things haven't changed in 500 years. They have not changed in 500 years. And then we forgot to distinguish between what's negotiable in life and what's not negotiable in life. And then we forgot to distinguish between happiness in life versus pleasures in life. I repeat, we forgot to distinguish between pleasures in life versus happiness in life. Folks, go check out. Pleasures always come from outside and they are temporary. Happiness always comes from inside. It is long lasting. Are you with me, folks? Go check out. Hasn't changed in 500 years. And fourth, we forgot to distinguish between making money versus earning money. There's a big difference between making money versus earning money. Most people want to make money. Very few want to earn money. Are you with me, folks? And that's the difference. Folks, I was at the Lalit Hotel. This goes back a few months ago. And right in my room, next to my side table, on the side table, was a digital clock. And right next to the digital clock, there was a big tent, paper tent, written this clock is hotel property. Hello? Tell me, why do you think they write that down? Hello? Why do you think they write that down? To? Oh, so we need reminders not to do that. Folks, aren't they all people issues? I just want to close here. Boy, I see I've gone almost 45 minutes. Oh, 32. Then we could open up for Q&As thereafter. Folks, I just want to bring a point. We had a client out of Muscat enroll into our leadership program. And they were to send us $79,000. By mistake, I'm sure it must be a mistake, our account got credited with $11 million. Now, folks, only happened once in 40 years. Only happened once in 40 years, that's all. So $11 million got into our account. So our accountant checks the balance on a daily basis, and of course, he saw 11 million additional bucks in the account. So he checked, where did it come from? Obviously, it was mistakenly inside. Mistakenly received. So he walks into my office and he says, "We become rich. We got extra money from so-and-so place in Muscat." And he asked me, "What should we do with this money?" Now, folks, let me ask you, doesn't he know what is to be done with that money? Why is he checking me? He's checking my integrity. Are you with me, folks? And nothing wrong. Good. Because remember, culture always goes top down, never bottom up. Folks, so I said, what if I'm not here and something like this happens? What would you do? So he says, I want to double check we're not making a mistake. And of course, if they have genuinely made a mistake, then we ought to give them written instructions to our banks to reverse it. I said, that's all have to be done. So now there's a 2-hour time difference between here and Muscat. So we called them, and now there was panic on the other side. Now, it is a billion-dollar company, but 11 million is 11 million. They started calling frantically to our office, and they spoke to our business head. So our business head said, what's the matter with you people? First of all, we are the one who informed you. You never informed us. Why are you so panicked? It's a 5-minute job. All we have to do is give written instructions to the bank, and the money would be reversed. Well, the money was reversed, and then our business has called and asked them, why were you so panicked, folks? We were the ones who told you. They said the reason why we were concerned was because you realize in these countries the legal system does not work. And 2, amount involved was a little large. And 3, we were wondering when we would get the money, if we would get the money, when we would get it. And our business head put a little note to him and said, folks, our programs that Mr. Kira does, they are based on integrity. And we make it a point to practice in our office also. And they said, since the amount involved was large, we were concerned. And the answer this man gave was that integrity in our office does not change with the amount involved. Because if it changes with the amount involved, it only means we have no integrity. Our price is different. Are you with me, folks? And that's it. Now, folks, I have to confess, I am not 24 karat pure. I don't know of any human being in this world who's 24 karat pure. I don't know of any organization that is 24 karat pure. But folks, would you agree with me? There's a huge difference between 8 karat purity and 22 karat purity. Yes, no. Hello? Yeah. Folks, I was doing a program in Malaysia and then in Singapore. There were 6,000 or 7,000 people just 3 months ago. As I finished, one person came up to me and he asked me, he said, tell me, was Maradona a champ or a cheat? Was Louis Armstrong a champion or a cheat? Was Tiger Woods a champion or a cheat? Hello, are you with me? Folks, I asked some of the audiences, folks, what do you think? Do you label them as champs or do you label them as cheats? One person said they were champions, but they cheated. Are you with me? They were champions in their own rights, but somewhere they did cheat. I just want to close this with the story I've shared in my book, Living with Honor, which says it is better to be honorable than to be honored. And interestingly, this incident on Muscat that note that went out from our office, our business head wrote a little note and said, we may be stupid, we're not crooked, that's all. Once in a while we are stupid. We do wrong things. We make mistakes, of course we do. But let me share with you a little story on George Bernard Shaw, which I have given in my book, Living with Honor, which says, it is better to be honorable than to be honored. George Bernard Shaw went to a social get-together and he saw a young page 3 socialite couple. Folks, what is a typical page 3 socialite couple? What is a page 3 socialite couple? What is a page 3 socialite couple? Yeah. Well, they go to every party for 2 reasons, either to see or to be seen. In fact, let me just take some Q&As and that I might come back to the Bernard Shaw story. I would be more than happy, folks. In fact, we have some books, audio tapes, DVDs, and I want to just bring one point here. In fact, it is important I would. Folks, how many of you have been to Singapore? Raise your hand, please. Okay, quite a few. Folks, Singapore got independence 1965. It's an island with 6 million people living there. Per square inch, it is more heavily populated than India. And folks, Singapore gets close to 1.5 million tourists per, say it loudly, per month. Per month. Now, most of you who've been to Singapore, folks, any country you go, after you clear immigration and customs, who is the first person you meet always? Say it loudly, sir. The taxi driver. And folks, if you've been to Singapore, what have you observed about the taxi drivers in Singapore? What have you observed? Yeah? They're clean, honest, transparent. You leave a camera, it comes back. You give them more money, they don't take it. Folks, 16 years ago when we opened our office in Singapore, I gave a taxi driver a business card to get me to a particular address. At the last point, he circled around the building. Meter read $11. I pulled out 11. He took 10. I said, Henry, your meter reads 11. How come you're taking 10? He said, sir, I'm a taxi driver. I'm supposed to be bringing you straight to your destination. Since I didn't know the last spot, I had to circle around the building. Had I brought you straight here, the meter would have read 10. Now hear what he said next. He said, sir, legally I can claim 11, but ethically I am entitled to only 10. Folks, he understood the difference between legality and ethics. Something could be legal but unethical. Diplomatic passport. Are you with me, folks? I am an ambassador of Singapore without a diplomatic passport. Folks, when I did my program in Singapore, there were about 10,000-15,000 people. And I brought this taxi driver to the dais. And I gave the same story, and this was video recorded on my DVD outside. And the same taxi driver, folks, I met 16 years ago, literally became my manager in Singapore for the last 16 years. He's still with me, folks. Are you with me? To me, this 8th grader was much more valuable than anybody. He handles all my vendors, he handles all my banking, he does all my deposit, he handles pretty much everything in Singapore for me. 8th grader! Folks, people skills, persuasion skills, and prioritizing skills, they haven't changed. Going forward, they will not change. And that is what we are talking is power in the millennium. That is really what we are talking. We need these 3 things. Master what you want to do. But this is crucial with those words. Folks, I just want to thank the Hindustan Times, the organizers, and folks, we have a little lucky draw for our book You Can Win and others. So if we could kindly do that, ma'am, could I request you to kindly No, you got so have the lady here pull it out and have these people pull it out, please. There's a little lucky draw for them. Could you kindly pull out? And who's that?
From my Pariche, Gaurav Mohta.
Gaurav Mahta, all right. And sir, I'm going to hand you over my book, You Can Sell. Give him a big hand, please. Thank you, sir. And who are the other people? Thank you, sir. And who are the other people? Go ahead. Sir, kindly pull out.
From Alchemist, Lokesh Singh Sirohi.
Okay, Lokesh Singh Sirohi. Go ahead, give him a big hand. Where
Are
is
you here?
Lokesh? Not there.
Not here?
Lokesh not here. Okay,
We'll just stick it
disqualified.
around.
Move on.
Move on, yeah.
You're not here. Too
Let's try
bad.
it with you. Don't look, just pull. Yeah, just hold on. From PepsiCo, Sandeep Kumar Sharma.
Okay, all right, Sandeep.
Take it around.
Sir, I'm going to hand you over my mug. You Can Win, winner's mug. Thank you, sir. It's a jewelry box, by the way. So after you are done with the mug, you can fill the jewelry for your better half. Thank you very much. All right. Thank you. Who's next?
PK Arora from Rights.
Okay, PK. All right, Mr. Arora, please, sir. So we have a You Can Win pen. It says You Can Win inside. Kindly have a look, sir. Thank you very much, and kindly use that, please. And next one.
One more. Kishle Chandan from Paramount Farms.
All right. And sir, I want to hand you over a set of my audio CDs. There's a 3-hour of live recording, and there are 6 topics here. Attitude keys to success, 1. 2, winning strategies. Winners have willpower. Losers have won't power. Their won't power pulls them down. Winners edge, do the right thing for the right reason. Many people do the right thing for the wrong reason. And next one, attitude determines altitude, ethics, and values. Folks, learn the difference between old and obsolete values. Old is not obsolete. It was here 500 years ago. It will be here 500 years after. And then it says, discipline your way to freedom. If we discipline ourselves, others won't have to. If we don't, others will discipline us. Give me a hand, please. Thank you, sir. And one more. In fact, 2 more.
Gaurav Mehta from BSES.
Gaurav Mehta. Okay, sir. I'm going to hand you over a 3-hour of live recording in Hindi. Some people said, you have a program on Hindi? In Hindi, I said, yes. This is says, सफलता कैसी असली या नकली. सफल लीडर बने, अच्छे लीडर और लीडर बनाते हैं, घटिया लीडर फॉलोअर बनाते हैं. And then it says, असंभव को संभव बनाए, समाधान का हिस्सा बने. अगर हम समाधान का हिस्सा नहीं है तो हम ही समस्या हैं. It's a 3-hour of live recording DVD. Okay. Give him a big hand, please. And lastly, the last one. You can pack this
Mr. M.S. Khatri from Alert India.
Okay, give him a big hand, please. All right.
Okay, that's it.
Sir, are you familiar with the journal? If you are not, this would be a life-changing thing. I was introduced to a journal pretty much almost about 39 years ago. And I didn't go into my personal life story. We had coal mines in India. They got nationalized. We had 1,000 people working, came on the street. Folks, my academics are a BCom 3rd Division failed in my 10th. Thank you very much. Folks, and when I went to Canada, I started life washing cars door to door with a bucket in my hand, going for a couple of years that way, gradually got into selling life insurance, and then got into selling vacuum cleaners and life insurance. And God was kind, eventually moved on. I got exposed to people like Dr. Norman Vincent Peale, who wrote the book Power of Positive Thinking. I sat through as a student 40 years ago in his program. That was one of the turning points in my life. And folks, I recall they said, start using a journal, folks. You will find most successful people in this world maintain a journal. Folks, a journal is not like a diary where, would you open this, sir? Thank you, sir. A journal is not like a diary where you use it, discard it. This gentleman who introduced me, he gave me pretty much a blank book, made me write something inside and made me sign something there. And he said, thank you, sir. He said, Shiv, just invest 5 minutes a day in yourself for the next 31 days. He said, your life will change. I said, really? I said, by investing 5 minutes a day, can you change your life in 31 days? Folks, I learned one thing. Wise people don't answer your question with a statement. They answer a question with a question. And he asked me, if you can, are you willing to do it? I said, yes. He got a commitment out of me. He said, invest 5 minutes a day. And he said, just write 4 sentences every day. The first 6 pages are from my book, You Can Win Here. But what we have created is something, a fill in the blank, folks. This is a fill in the blank. Made it a lot easier. Just complete only 4 sentences per day. Now, folks, a journal makes you reflect. When we reflect, what do? We review 2 things. We review our actions and we also review our intentions. Are you with me, folks? Hello? We review our actions, we review our intentions. And just write 4 sentences. One says, today I feel. Write down how you feel. Put your true feelings down. I feel excited, I feel glad, I feel sad, I feel bad. I don't care what you feel, just write down. 2, today I have learned. What have I learned? Have I learned anything? If yes, what? If not, why not? 3rd, today I'm proud of. What am I proud of? Am I proud of? If yes, what? If not, why not? And 4th, today I commit to improve. Folks, let me ask you, if you write every day, today I commit to improve. After 31 days, how many commitments have you made to improve? Say it loudly, please. Say it loudly one more time. You'd be surprised. After 8 days, you will start repeating the same again and again and again. You know why? It is basically 4, 5, 6 things that are pulling us down. Are you with me? They're basically 5, 6 things that are pulling us down. That's all they are. We just need to change 5, 6 things in our life, and bang, you watch, life shoots up for the better. And then I asked him, I said, tell me, what is the magic of 31 days? He said, Shiv, some research shows any behavior consciously, consistently, continuously practiced 31 days, 32nd day becomes a habit. 32nd day becomes a habit. Folks, let me ask you, investing 31 days, is it too much of a price to pay to change a lifetime for the better? Is it too much? Very few people are willing to do it. Very few. You know something? The biggest challenge in maintaining the journal is not maintaining the journal. That's not the big challenge. It is the self-discipline to fill it every day. That is the biggest challenge. And folks, I have failed a few times myself. I have failed a few times. That is the toughest part. But you do it, I tell you what, it can be life-changing. Give him a big hand, please. Thank you, sir. Folks, with those words, I'd like to thank all of you. I'm grateful that you are here and you feel I'm worthy of coming here to listen. Of course, you have many other eminent speakers, but I'm grateful for your time. And thank you very much.
Ladies and gentlemen, a big round of applause for Mr. Shiv Khera. We'd like to present you with a small token, sir. And if I could request the business head of Shine.com, Mr. Cyrus Master, to please do us the honor of presenting you with a small token. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen.